Greetings, ladies and gentlemen of YouTube. I'm Cipher, and this is the Devil's Advocate Debate Club. This one's gonna be a little different, so bear with me. It's not necessarily the type of video I'd normally do on this channel, but it's the rare video that's been requested by more than one person. So, I'm going to be doing a musical analysis of one of my favorite songs. The reason being, and this video will get a little bit personal at times, that when I listen to this song, I, generally speaking, cry like a little baby. I mean, not just a few tears, I weep. Now, if I have distractions, I've found recently, as I've, kind of forced myself to, that I can in fact listen to it without crying if I distract myself and think about other things, but if I sit and think about the lyrics, then I weep, so I might even tear up during this video. And, I don't care how long it's going to be. It might come in several parts. I'm done when my phone runs out of memory or I run out of water. So I might cry, I might sing, but without any further runaround, here's my analysis, offhand and unscripted, of Regina Spektor's Firewood. Now, Regina Spektor is a, in my opinion, quite talented musical artist, a vocalist, singer, songwriter, a pianist. She might play other instruments as well, I'm not sure, but her haunting melodies pull at my heartstrings in a number of her songs, and probably especially throughout the album, What We Saw from the Cheap Seats, whose title alone is something that, if you stop and think about it, just, brings a certain melancholy aspect of America to mind, at least in my opinion. Firewood is, a song that affects me in ways I don't know if I can fully find words for, but I'll describe it to the best of my ability. The first few lines are, "The piano is not firewood yet," which, right away, when I first listened to it, and I'm not one to cry easily, at least I don't think so, but I started to tear up right away the first time I heard the song, because, the idea of cutting up a piano, just a beautiful instrument of music, especially as the song starts with, of course, piano music before the opening lines. So, just the imagery of the opening line. Anyway, the piano is not firewood yet. They try to remember, but still they forget that the heart beats in threes, just like a waltz. So, I think there are, of course, many ways to interpret art, but what this set of lines made me think of was, love, as it's what most of Regina Spektor's songs are about. I don't think it's too much of a stretch, especially if you listen to the album surrounding the song. So, no matter how many times you've been hurt, maybe up to a certain breaking point, but for the most part, you try to remember how much it hurt, I think, for a while. And it's a good thing to move on, but But when you've been hurt and have tried to put off love for a while to work on yourself or one thing or another, it can be easy to forget how the heart can draw you back into that dance. Because that is, of course, the next line. And nothing can stop you from dancing. Rise from your cold hospital bed. I tell you, you're not dying. Everyone knows that you're going to live. So you might as well start trying. See, again, it just... Maybe it was just when I heard it. Maybe I'm just projecting, but it speaks to me of that aftermath of not necessarily a breakup, but of losing someone important in your life. And it's not about replacing them, it's about moving on and finding something new for yourself. Well, at least that's my takeaway of what you should do, but I don't know that that's actually in the song. Anyway, like I said, this video will probably be long and contain a lot of rambling. I won't judge you if you watch my other videos and skip this one. Anyway, the piano is not firewood yet, but the cold does get cold, so it soon might be that. This is, of course, the literal personification of the imagery that was started with the very first line. I'll take it apart, call up my friends, and we'll warm up our hands by the fire. Now, I think that most people feel some combination, if they feel at all, from music, of sadness and outrage at this line, if they've been paying attention. Give me just 1 second. For me, it was mostly sadness, but there was a tint of outrage, which I think is something that was expected by Regina Spektor when she wrote the song, because the next line is, don't be so shocked, don't judge so hard, you don't know, you're only spying. Because if you saw a group of people taking apart a piano in an alleyway and lighting it on fire to stay warm, you might get outraged. I mean, fire in a public place is probably illegal. You might even be able to report them. You don't know if they stole that piano or if it was one that was left by the curbside free. I mean, a lot of people don't realize, thinking that pianos aren't just expensive, which they are, that it can often be more expensive to repair a broken piano than to sell it. I mean, a lot of times you can't find anyone to buy your broken piano because of how expensive they are to repair. And so, as they can be very costly to move and to have dealt with and gotten rid of, it's often much cheaper just to, well, dump them somewhere if you're a person of little morals. So, you don't know if those homeless people just found a abandoned piano in an alleyway, left by a dumpster, trash in the morning if they can get it into the truck at all, and decided to use it to warm themselves for the night. And, well, it's easy to talk about statistics. You don't know why any of that group is there by that piano that night. So it's easy to feel outraged, even if it's just a touch. But remember, when you look into other people's lives, unless you've gotten to know them quite thoroughly, and even then, because you never know what people hold back, you don't know. You're only spying. So, don't judge so hard. Those lines, I think, are meant to be taken quite literally in the midst of a series of fairly complex and planned out metaphors throughout the entire album. And I think that they carry a very important message, especially in a day and age as, well, it becomes easier to get, shall we say, tribal. I'm going to do a video on why I think being tribal is bad soon, I think. Anyways, the next few lines are, everyone knows it's going to hurt, but at least we'll get hurt trying, 'cause life isn't perfect. It's not meant to be. People who've got too much control over their life and too much of the happiness that money can buy, because it can buy some happiness, but not necessarily in the long term and not necessarily stably. A lot of times what they're missing is a sense of, well, I won't say excitement, but challenge, I guess, would be the best way to put it. The human spirit needs to be tested at times, and I think it's that the dark moments bring the happy ones into light. It makes you happier in your happy moments if you have, well, challenges in your life. So it's important to have a balance of both, no matter how successful or powerful you become. Anyway, so life's going to hurt. Either you won't challenge yourself and you'll take full control over your life, and if you have enough money to do so, you'll, become one of those CEOs who have some of the highest rates of depression of anyone in the country, and take up with an amazing frequency, according to at least some studies, some very, very odd fetishes to let go of the control they have and to find any sense of excitement. Or you won't have control and you'll have struggle and financial burdens, most likely, because life hurts at times. But if you're still here, then at least we'll get hurt trying. And I'm not going anywhere. I do need just one more drink. Sorry if it gets dark on this video. It might end with my voice for a while. We'll see. Excuse me. The piano is not firewood yet, but a heart can't be helped, and it gathers regret. One day you'll wake up